The airport smelled like cold metal and rain soaked luggage sterile loud, suffocating. People rushed in every direction, dragging suitcases and stories behind them. But you walked through the crowd as if underwater, your fingers clenched around the slip that held your father's medical parcel number. Your father had collapsed an hour ago, your mind was still spinning from the shock. You pushed past people, breathed, and even excuse me. Sorry, can you move, please? You reached the counter and handed the slip to the worker. My father needs this medicine urgently. Please hurry. The man nodded sympathetically and turned around. Your heart pounded so loud it drowned out every sound around you until you heard it. That laugh, the one you memorized, the one you heard through late night phone calls from across oceans. The one you once believed belonged to you, deep, warm, familiar. You froze. No, no, it can be him. You turned automatically like some part of you still obeyed the gravity of his existence. And there he was, John Jungkook, broad shouldered, taller than before, his black hair messy from travel, a duffel bag slung over his arm. Your breath stopped right before you heard it, because he wasn't alone. Standing in front of him was Sarah. Your stepsister, your lifelong rival, the girl who grew up competing with you for everything, your father's attention, your mother's affection, even the mirror. And she was smiling up at Jungkook with the victorious glow of someone who had taken something precious and wasn't ashamed to flaunt it. Before you could even process it, Jungkook reached forward and gently pulled her into his arms. You watched his fingers brush her hair aside. You watched him lower his head. Then he kissed her forehead. Soft, familiar, intimate. Your vision blurred. Your lungs forgot how to work. Your knees almost buckled, but the worst part wasn't the kiss, it was the way he whispered her name. Sarah, finally, we are home. Your word cracked. He used to whisper your name like that. One night, your bedroom lights dim, your phone pressed to your cheek, his voice low and sleepy from across the world. Wine, once I'm back, I'll make you mine. Don't doubt that. My future begins with you. Your heart had throbbed with warmth. What if you forget me over there? How can I forget the woman I want to marry? He had said it so casually, like it was destiny, like it was sealed. The night before he left for his higher studies, he dragged you to a tiny jewelry shop hidden behind an old bookstore. He made you try rings, your fingers shook with a mix of shyness and hope. Look, perfect, this one. This looks like it was made for you. He kissed you in front of the airport doors. The next morning, his last words: wait for me, I'm coming back for you. Back to present. But the Jungkook standing in front of you now held another woman, held her. Your stepsister clung to his arm like she belonged there. And Jungkook didn't look like the boy who promised you a future. He looked like a man in love, your heart twisted painfully. A thousand needles piercing at once. You tried stepping back quietly, but the floor betrayed you. Your shoes scraped against the tile. Jungkook's head snapped toward the sound, his eyes locked with yours. Recognition, shock, something unreadable. His lips parted, voice barely above a whisper. Wine. Sarah slowly turned, and when she saw you, her smile grew, not with warmth, with satisfaction. You swallowed hard, you felt the tears threatening, but your spine straightened automatically. Years of rivalry taught you one thing: never cry in front of Sarah, so you forced your voice to stay steady. Welcome back. Chungkook took a step toward you, but the worker returned with your father's parcel. Miss Wine, here you go. You took it with trembling hands and you did the bravest thing you could. You turned away even though every fiber of your soul screamed to run toward him, to ask him why, to demand how your promises became her victory. You walked away because you had to. Your father needed the medicine, and your heart needed to survive this. When you reached home, your father was resting, the doctor gone, and the house quiet. But the silence felt heavier than anything, like someone had turned the entire world into a vacuum and left you inside it. You placed the parcel on the table, your hands were still trembling from the airport scene. Your mother approached, her voice soft. Wine, did you get the medicine? You nodded without speaking. Your mother's eyes narrowed. You are pale. What happened? Your throat tightened. How were you supposed to say? The boy I waited 2 years for came back holding my sister. He kissed her the way he used to kiss me. My promises died in an airport terminal. Your lips couldn't form the word, so you whispered. I'm just tired. It was a lie, but it was the only thing you could manage without breaking into pieces. You walked to your room, closed the door, leaned against it, and then you slid down to the floor and covered your mouth with both hands to silence your own heartbreak. Hot tears spilled uncontrollably. Pain crawled up your chest in waves. You cried until your throat hurt and your heartbeat became a slow, heavy ache. Later, that night, you heard footsteps in the hallway. You froze when you recognized the voice. Sarah. She saw us. The way she looked at Chungu, God, it was pathetic. You pressed your ear to the door. A male voice replied, someone you didn't recognize. Wasn't this what you wanted? Sarah laughed softly. Of course, I have been working on this for years, okay? Do you know how hard it was to get Jungkook to believe me? Your heart dropped, you were not meant to hear this, but fate had a cruel sense of timing. The man asked, what exactly did you tell him? Sarah Stone turned gleeful, weakly proud. I told him Wine moved on with some guy here. I told him she stopped waiting. I even showed him fake screenshots. You gasped silently, screenshots, fake screenshots, your knees weakened. I cried in front of him, acted like I was hurting for him. He actually believed I was trying to help him get over Wine. And that fool, he trusted me completely. You bite your lip hard enough to taste blood. Your stepsister, the girl who grew up stealing your toys, your clothes, your friends, had now stolen your love. Not because she loved him, no, because she hated you, having something she didn't. The man asked again, so you followed him abroad because Jungkook always loved wine. He talked about her nonstop. I had to break that illusion. I had to keep feeding him lies, and trust me, once he started relying on me emotionally, it was easy. Her next words shattered you. Honestly, watching her face today was worth every effort. You felt your knees, silently tears spilling down your cheeks, your fingers trembled uncontrollably. So, this was the truth. This was the betrayal. Chung didn't fall out of love. He was manipulated systematically, strangely, cruelly, and you were the collateral damage. The next day, your childhood friend Yang Kwanshik visited. You hadn't seen him in months. He entered the house quietly, as he always did. Tall, calm, sharp jawline softened by his gentle eyes. He found you sitting on the garden swing, hugging your knees. He sat beside you without being invited, without saying a word at first. After a moment, he spoke softly. I heard Jungkook came back. You looked at him sharply. How do you know? He sighed, leaning back. People talk. Sarah posted pictures with him last night. Everyone already knows. Your throat tightened painfully. Kwanchik glanced at your trembling hands. You cried. You looked away. No, I didn't. Kwanchik gave a small, sad smile. You always say that when you're laying. He turned toward you, his voice gentle but firm. Why? You don't have to pretend with me. Your eyes stung. Why does it hurt so much, Kwanchik? I waited for him. I believed everything, and now he's with her. Your voice broke. Kwanchik inhaled sharply as if your pain physically hurt him. He rested a careful hand on your back. You didn't deserve this, not from him, not from her. You let out a shaky breath. You didn't see it, but Kwanchik's jaw clenched because he remembered all the nights you cried over Jungkook's late replies. He remembered the days you reread old messages, hoping for comfort. He remembered gently handing you tissues when you tried to hide your tears. But he never confessed his feelings because Jungkook was his closest friend and you were Jungkook's girl, or so he thought. He whispered softly, "You are stronger than you know." You leaned into his shoulder, exhausted. He didn't move, didn't breathe, as if afraid the slightest motion would make you pull away. He had loved you silently for years, with a devotion that expected nothing in return. Later, when you stood to leave, your legs wobbled. Kwanchi quickly held your arm. "Hey, easy, you're not okay." You looked up at him with tired eyes. "I don't think I'll ever be okay again." He tightened his grip, expression firm. "You will, and until you are, I'm right here." You studied his face, strong, steady, reliable. Everything you needed now, everything Jungkook no longer was. In that moment, you didn't fall in love with him. You simply leaned toward the only safe place left in your collapsing world, and that was the first silent step toward the marriage that would one day feel like a refuge. Rain hammered against the windows like an angry god demanding entry. Your wedding had ended only an hour ago. The guests were gone, the lights in the house were dim, the air smelled of roses, incense, and something painfully final. You sat on the edge of the hotel sewed bed in your deep red bridal dress, the heavy dupatta cascading off your shoulder. Your bangles clinked quietly every time your trembling hands moved. Your breath came in uneven pulse. Kwanchik was removing his coat in the adjoining room, trying to give you space, respecting the fragile quiet around you. You were not ready to face him. You were not ready to face your new life. You were not ready for anything. Then a violent knock shook the door. Kwanchik looked up sharply. "Wine, are you expecting someone?" You froze. "No." Another knock, harder, desperate. Something inside you recognized that desperation. Your heartbeat jumped into your throat. Slowly, you stood. Your anklets chimed softly as you walked toward the door. Kwanchik stepped closer behind you, protective. You unlocked the latch and pulled the door open. Your entire world cracked. He was there, Jungkook, drenched from the rain, cloth soaked, hair plastered to his forehead. Eyes red, swollen, frantic, he looked like someone who had run through a storm with only one destination in mind, you. His chest rose and fell rapidly like he couldn't breathe without seeing you. His gaze dropped to your bridal dress, and the demonstration that spread across his face clearly stopped our heart. "Ryan, tell me this is a joke." You stood frozen, unable to breathe, unable to speak. He stepped forward slightly, rain dripping from his sleeves into the carpet. "Tell me you didn't marry him. Tell me you didn't actually." His voice shattered, your lips trembled. Behind you, Kwanchik approached quietly, his presence solid but respectful. Jungkook's eyes flicked to him, and the betrayal that flashed there was unbearable. "Kwanchik, you out of everyone, you." Kwanchik didn't respond at first. He simply straightened his posture and moved beside you. Jungkook's jaw clenched in pain. "Why are you standing next to her like she's yours?" Kwanchik's voice was low, steady, painfully calm. "Because she's my wife now." The words felt like knives to Jungkook. To you, to the entire past once clung to Jungkook, stumbled back half a step as if someone had punched him. His voice trembled, cracking open. "No, why? And you can't do this to me. You can't. I came to talk to you. I found out what Sarah did. I found out everything I found out." Your heart stopped. "Found out what?" Jungkook swallowed hard, just having. "She lied to me for 2 damn years. She told me you moved on, that you were not waiting for me, that you were seeing someone else." Your breath hissed sharply. Jungkook stepped toward you, voice pleading. "I believed her. I was a fool. I believed her tears. I believed her stories. I believed every lie she fed me." His voice broke again, But today, Kwanchik told me the truth. You turned to Kwanchik slowly. He didn't look away. He looked guilty. Deeply, unbearably guilty. Chunguk ran a shaking hand through his wet hair. She didn't just lie, she hid my letters wine. I wrote you every week. I waited for your replies. I thought you forgot me. Your entire body went cold. Letters? What letters? Kwanji closed his eyes for a moment. Then he walked to the drawer of the hotel side table, pulled out a worn envelope, and held it toward you. Your hand trembled violently as you took it inside a stack of letters, dozens, all written by Chunguk, your name on each envelope. Your breath shattered. Kwanchik spoke softly, voice trembling for the first time. I found them in Sarah's apartment months ago, hidden in a box. She never sent them to you. She intercepted everything. You stared at him. Then why didn't you give them to me? Silence. Kwanchik swallowed hard. I was going to. I swear I was. But the more I saw you breaking, the more I saw you healing slowly without him, the more he couldn't finish. Chunguk's eyes darkened with disbelief and betrayal. You loved her. You loved her and you didn't tell her the truth. Kwanchik didn't defend himself, he simply whispered. I loved her enough to let her choose, but not enough to give her more pain. The room swelled with thick, suffocating silence. Rain pounded harder outside. Jungkook stepped closer, voice raw. Wine, tell me you didn't marry him because you moved on. You didn't answer. You couldn't answer. The letters trembled in your hands. Tell me you still love me, even a little. Just say you didn't stop loving me. Your eyes filled with tears. Kwanchik's jaw tightened. Your bridal bangles trembled as you clutched the letters to your chest. Jungkook, you are too late. It was the truth, the cruelest kind. Jungkook stumbled back as if the ground had disappeared beneath him. His voice cracked open, raw and agonizing. No, wine, please. Please don't say that. I came back for you. I left everything for you. He broke down mid sentence. His shoulders shook. He pressed a hand over his face, trying to hide the tears, but falling. Kwanchik stepped forward slightly, but you raised a hand, stopping him. Slowly, painfully, you stepped toward Jungkook, your voice weird. I waited for you for 2 years. I cried for you every night. I believed every promise you made. Tears spilled down your cheeks, but you believed her lies instead of my love. Jungkook shook his head violently. I was scared, confused, lonely, and so was I. The truth hung between you like a blade. Then you stepped back just one step, but it was enough. It was the step that separated your past from your present. You turned slightly, glancing at Kwanchik. He immediately came to your side, his presence grounding you. Jungkook watched agony carved into every line of his face. His voice cracked as he whispered, I was supposed to be your husband. You closed your eyes, tears falling silently. And I was supposed to be yours. Jungkook's knees nearly gave out, but then you delivered the final blow, the truth that sealed everything. But destiny chose differently, and I chose survival. Jungkook's face crumpled, his voice broke completely. Wine, please don't end it like this. You stepped back into the room, holding the letters, holding your heartbreak. Holding your new reality. Then you closed the door softly. The sound of it echoed like thunder. Jungkook collapsed to his knees outside in the rain. His sobs drawn by the storm inside, Kwanchik stood silently watching you break while standing strong. Outside, Jungkook broke, completely realizing he was too late for the love that once belonged to him. The storm outside had grown violent as if the sky itself sensed the truth unraveling. Sarah was pacing in her room, muttering curses under her breath when the door slammed open so hard the frame shuddered. Jungkook stood there, breath rigid, eyes burning, fists trembling, a terrifying mix of heartbreak and fury. Sarah froze. For the first time, she looked genuinely scared. Where are those letters? His voice wasn't loud, it was waltz, calm, controlled, deadly. Sarah tried to smile. Jungkook, whatever she told you, it's. He grabbed the stack of torn envelopes from her drawer and threw them across the room. They fluttered like dying white birds. So it was all true. You lied to me about her, about everything. Sarah's eyes filled with panic. I did it for us. She never deserved you. She always pretended to be innocent. Jungkook's laughter came out hollow, shaking. You followed me abroad. You told me wine didn't care, that she moved on, that she was seeing someone else. You made me believe I was forgotten. Sarah swallowed hard. You were forgotten. That's what she deserved. She waited for me. She waited every day, and you shattered her. His chest heaved as he stepped closer, lowering his voice to a trembling whisper. You stole my letters, you stole my future, you stole her. Sarah's mask finally broke. Because I loved you too, I loved you more than she ever. No, his tone turned ice cold. You never loved me, you wanted to own me. He stepped back, disgusted, and the worst part, I let you. Sarah fell to her knees, reaching for him. Jungkook, please let me explain. Don't touch me. His voice was quiet but sharp enough to cut bone. I don't want your voice, your face, your existence anywhere near me again. He walked out without looking back, leaving Sarah sobbing on the floor the same way she once left you. Later that night, the house was painfully quiet. You sat on the balcony, bridal bangles still around your wrists, staring at the rain. Honchik approached slowly, his steps hesitant, almost afraid. He stood beside you, hands clasped nervously. Why? There is something you deserve to know. You turned your face slightly. Your voice was hoarse from crying earlier about the letters, his great history. So Jungkook told you, silence, the rain filled the spaces where word failed. I found them at Sarah's apartment 2 years ago. I know she hid them. I knew she had twisted everything, but he squeezed his eyes shut. I should have told you. I should have brought them straight to you, but I didn't because I fell for your wine. Your heart tightened painfully. He looked at you with quiet raw shame. I fell for you when I saw you break every night. You were drowning, and I wanted to be the one who held you up. But that doesn't excuse what I did. His voice almost a whisper. I'm sorry, Wine. I'm deeply, unforgivably sorry. You looked at him, really looked. Your tears didn't fall angrily, only softly. You took advantage of my heartbreak, one chick, but you also saved me when I couldn't breathe. You gave me a place to fall when everything else vanished. He looked away, guilt etched across his features. I won't ask you to forgive me. I couldn't let you live without knowing the truth. You nodded slowly. Thank you for finally telling me. He exhaled shakily. Whatever you choose to do next, I'll respect it. Months later, life had shifted its weight. Jungkook left the city. Sarah disappeared from everyone's life. Kwanchik honored his promise and gave you space, never forcing answers. You moved into your own small apartment, learned how quiet mornings feel without heartbreak. Sitting on your chest, you studied, you grew, you healed slowly, tenderly. One evening, you stood on your balcony watching the sunset stain the sky orange and gold. A new beginning, your phone burst a message from an unknown number. I'm proud of your wine. Moved forward, don't look back, not even for me. Your chest ached, but in a softer way, you whispered to yourself, I will. You didn't need Jungkook, you didn't need revenge, you didn't need to rewrite the past. You were finally choosing yourself. And sometimes that's the most beautiful ending of all.